Hey, this is Jude for Maybe Entertainment Magazine. Well, Genni Gunn is a musician, a writer, a translator, an all-around smart, savvy babe. I spent many rainy Vancouver afternoons in the late 90s in Genni's living room shaping short stories in a small writing group, drinking great coffee. Genni always had great ideas. Genni's new novel, Solitaria, is both a page-turner and a sublime literary experience. No vampires, but you must read it.
Genni Gunn.
Yes.
We are old friends. And we are doing this weird self-conscious thing because my technology is such that Genni has to look at me in the... we see ourselves reflected.
See, yes.
Okay, so there you go.
It's kind of odd, isn't it?
It is a bit odd.
It is, because you really just want to look at yourself, but...
I know, it's really hard.
Is that a mirror over there?
Could you fix my bangs? Because I'm looking at you. I have a long history with Genni Gunn. We've had many coffees together, and we've never had this self-conscious conversation. So Genni has you have a new book coming out.
Yes, I do.
Genni has. Genni Gunn has a new book coming out, and it is called
Solitaria. Although I suspect that people here will probably say Solitaria because it will be the sort of English spelling of it. But
that's what I was calling it this morning. But
Solitaria, yeah.
Solitaria.
I think that's what in the end it'll be called here. Yeah,
yeah, you'd feel kind of pretentious. Have you read Solitaria? I've gone to Chile, and they're reading Solitaria. So years ago, you were going to Italy to interview your aunt, who was getting on in years.
Was.
And is this the book the result of that?
It is the result of that, although it's not an autobiographical book, but I did use a lot of the kind of life of the times, but the story itself is not, it's not autobiographical or biographical, I should say. But,
sure.
That's what they all say.
I say that too all the time. Okay, so...
In fact, I can tell you that I've thought, if in fact this book gets translated into Italian, that somehow I'm going to have to no longer, I'll be disowned by my whole family, because they will say, they will recognize little bits and pieces, but I've so changed and turned it into something else that they will all be going, I didn't do that, I didn't say that. So it could be a bit of a nightmare. So yeah.
So it's fiction.
It's fiction.
And simple.
It's fiction, but it's the sort of the life around at the times and all of that is real, because a little piece of it is set in about 1940s and 50s.
Oh, I love that era.
Yeah, and so that part, the kind of life, and during sort of just bordering on through the war and the end of the war.
Sorry.
So that kind of life is, is pretty close to what they did live through.
So you were a short story writer. When I met you, you were primarily writing short stories. Did you switch to novels because you wanted to make a living? Or
well, that's certainly you could certainly say that, because an incentive. Publishers tend to prefer novels, although they'll publish short stories following a novel mostly, but
is that right?
Yeah, but it's a much harder road, sell, right? I think that most writers, all writers probably have, have particular obsessions.
Yeah.
And so that whatever I write, I'm sure has some underlying things that are common to all the stories that I write, because it's my perception of the world, or how I see the world, and so it's I think probably naturally you can find links, but sometimes it's other people who find those links easier than you do yourself, right? Someone else sees it and goes, oh, look, you're writing about that, and you think, oh, was I?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes,
okay.
yes, I was.
Well, but if it isn't a blockbuster, if it isn't a Harry Potter or a one of those other ones. Twilight. They were. Oh my God! I tried to even watching the movie. Is like 5 minutes in. I was like lurching forward. Oh my God! This is so boring. I don't understand.
So you don't think I should put a vampire in my new novel?
Well, I'm not saying that. Vampire sex wouldn't kill ya. Would it be too much to ask? An Italian vampire.
An Italian vampire. Vladimiro.
Vladimiro. Tracing my history, bloody.
All about selling it. It's about selling it. So, whereas perhaps we like to think of literary works as certainly as art or as
of course,
things that will be left over after we're dead and that kind of thing. So you're actually looking, I think anyway, we should be looking for more interesting and more original works, that kind of thing. But I think in the end, what seems to be, what we see instead is that it's like a bandwagon. There's the Twilight series now. Just go and look at how many books have been published now that have vampires, right? Vampire romances. Tons of them right now. They're like, everyone's trying to churn one out. So I find that quite troubling. And then there's sort of the big name writers who already are big name writers. They can do original things because they already have a saleable history, right? So, but these are, in the end, I guess the only thing that makes me go, oh, it's okay, because is that these sort of tend to be trends anyway, right?
Yeah.
They just, it just goes through a cycle of some kind of trend. And I think
you're still being published.
Yeah. So you just carry on and do. I think in the end, as a writer, as an artist, you can't be consumed by what you think people will want to buy or sell, or it's just that can't be even part of the equation anymore. I think you have to try and do what it is you do, right, and hope that it's falling into the right area. Spot, right? I mean, I think everyone's talking about the end of the book and the whole thing, but really, eBooks. I have an ebook reader. I love the thing.
Which one do you have?
I've got the Sony reader. I love it.
Sony reader.
Yeah, it's like I can get my instant gratification.
Yeah.
I hear about a book. I want to read it now.
Yeah.
Click. I've got it. Right. I don't have to go to the store.
So you don't need that tactile. Page turning.
No, but I don't, because I can tell you something interesting about the Sony reader. When I first got it, I thought, okay, now I need a book. I need my book in my hand.
Yeah.
But as I was reading it, even the first time I started reading a story, I found myself trying to turn the page, and I thought, smearing the screen, and I thought, okay. So so I was having a reading experience the same way, right? And then actually, after I read the first book on there, I thought, oh my God, I love this book. It was one of the DeLillo books, and I thought, okay, that's it. I'm going to rush out and buy this because I need it. Well, I was away at Banff at the time when this was happening, because it's great for traveling. You can put 1,500 books on it and go off, right? And anyway, I got home, and then I thought, okay, so why do I have to go and buy it now? I was trying to figure out, why do I need to have the book? I can download it 1,000 times if I want to, so I can have it there. I can, if I ever really need to have it in my hand, I can just go and buy it. It's, it'll be available forever. Right. So I couldn't really find any real particular reason why I had to rush out, buy it, and put it on my shelf, and let it take up space on my shelf. So I'm a little bit of, 2 minds about it. But I guess what
you're still reading. I mean, you're still reading the book. You're still paying for the book.
And the thing is that I've read a couple of books that I downloaded that I love so much. I did go out and buy. So actually, I bought them both hardcover and online. So I think in the end that these two technologies, I think
people like you.
Well, exactly, and I think this can be something that coexists. I mean, when we had TV, radio didn't die off; they just coexisted.